quoting these examples in order to prove to you that our freedom is in many ways an illusion. The difference with us is that we have willingly enslaved ourselves. The people who are in prison, one could make the argument, had no choice. Yes, they had a choice. They didn't have to commit the crime if we got them there. But once they committed that crime, they were handcuffed, they were tried, they were convicted, and they were placed there. They had no choice from then on in. But those of us who enslave ourselves to the temptations and the influences of this world do so willingly. We go like sheep to the slaughter. And yet for 2,000 years, Jesus Christ, through his church, has given us a way to resist those temptations, has given us a way to remain free. And that is to bind ourselves to him. You might say, well, that's not freedom. That's kind of slavery, isn't it? If we're truly to be free, liberal thinkers, then we can't have any influences whatsoever on our thoughts and on our actions. It should be left up to our own autonomy. And yet, over and over again, we've proven as a human race, and I think all of us have proven ourselves as individuals, that we don't have what it takes in order to be truly free of all the destructive temptations and influences of this world. That the only way that we can avoid those is not by depending on ourselves, but by enslaving ourselves, if you will, to Jesus Christ. Because at least he is a kind master. At least he is the one who created us. He is our Father. Then think about all of us. He doesn't want the worst for us. He wants only what is good. And so when it comes to a choice between enslaving ourselves to all the influences that are out there, or enslaving ourselves, if I can use that word, to the influences that come from there, which do we choose? Well, I'm sure none of us would be here today if we said that we choose those influences. Sure, we all choose those. The question is, what do we do about it? What do we do about making it possible to bond ourselves, to bind ourselves to Jesus Christ? How can we bind ourselves to Jesus Christ if we're always out there? I'll give you one example. During the Great Lent, this solemn and sacred period that we are currently within, there are people I see out here today who have not been to a Wednesday sanctified yet, and or one of the Friday salutation services. So what are you doing on Wednesday and Friday nights? Are you enjoying the influences of the outside world out there? Or are you at least during Great Lent trying to devote a little bit of extra time to being with your Father who created you? Of sitting at his feet, of learning his teachings, of just closing your eyes and knowing that you are with someone who loves you, who cares for you, who wants the best for you. Only each of us as individuals can answer that question. We've only got a couple of weeks left of this Lenten period. And then comes Holy one that needs cutting, the one that needs washing. All of those will still be there after holy. But holy week we don't have one chance together. So let's this year